to your Tarotscopes for the new moon in Capricorn on January 13th, 2021. This new moon in Capricorn is conjunct Pluto, which means that it's a very empowering, transformative time. Be sure to watch your Tarotscope for your sign as well as your rising sign. Aries. So this new moon in Capricorn will be transiting your 10th house. So the 10th house is all about status, position, and honors. It's about your place in the world, your reputation. So you can use this new moon to get ahead, find out what mountain you want to be on top of and climb it. This is a really good moon to connect with VIPs, to get a promotion, to rise up in the ranks of whatever profession you are in. Capricorn, as well as Saturn, it likes definition. So it's important under this new moon to define where you want to excel, where you want to be the best, and what you want to achieve. And it's a very important new moon for structure and discipline, and to keep really on top of your goals and where you are going. So keep that in mind for your new moon. Any wishes in regard to climbing up the ranks would be really, really good for you. So let's see what you get, Aries, for your new moon in Capricorn Tarotscope. Three of Swords. All right. So this is not heartbreak. This is the thinking that you are experiencing that's making you feel heartbroken. So the Three Swords, this is an intellectual card, right? Because it's the sword suit. So it's about your mind. This doesn't mean your heart's broken. It's really about, like, why are you thinking about something in a way that might make you feel bad? So everything is on the table for this new moon. It's a clean slate, but you have to get in your mind the notion that all circumstances are neutral. Like, we are the assigners of meaning. As Shakespeare said, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So say, you get fired from your job, or, your spouse cheats on you. I mean, obviously, as a normal person, you're not going to necessarily say, yay, I've been betrayed or I've been fired. But because all circumstances are neutral, it's not really good or bad. You are the assigners of meaning. So if you can allow yourself during this new moon to own and take responsibility for your reality, like, we create everything, as tough as a pill that sometimes is to swallow. And if you say, okay, I created this, maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's a reason why I created this in my life, and then you can leverage it. So all circumstances are neutral. You want to allow yourself to leverage everything to your greatest advantage, because at the end of the day, you created it. So if you got fired on a subconscious level, you knew that there was a better job for you. You can make a big pay jump when you switch jobs. Or if you are, if you're going through like a heartbreak, well, there's somebody else out there that might be able to love you in a much, much deeper way, or you can, mend and get stronger with the person that you're with. I'm not saying you're going to get fired nor betrayed. All I'm saying is that the way that you're thinking right now, it needs a little bit of a tweak, and you need to allow yourself to say, all circumstances are neutral. I'm going to assign positive meaning to everything and leverage it to my greatest advantage. And if you do this in light of the Capricorn moon in regard to career stuff, it's important for you to essentially look at your career the way it is now and know that you are exactly where you need to be in order to get to where you want to go. So just keep that in mind. Your timing is impeccable, right? You don't want to label something bad. You want to say, this is the perfect step, the perfect platform that I am on right now to achieve my goals. And the goals that you should go after are always, whatever excites you the most. Whenever you're feeling excited about something, that's your higher self saying that that is for you. So have a great new moon, Aries, and make sure that you assign positive meaning to everything that you can. Leverage everything to your greatest advantage. Taurus. This new moon in Capricorn will be hitting your ninth house of the higher mind. It's about expansion. So when you have a ninth house transit, it's all about you wanting to really expand. Sometimes when we don't expand in our lives, when we don't broaden our horizons or we don't allow ourselves to experience more of the world, we expand literally physically. So if you feel like you've been gaining weight, it could be a matter of you're keeping yourself back from going further in your career, going further in the world, or going further in terms of expanding your mind. So just keep that in mind. Overall, this ninth house transit is about you experiencing more of the world. You can do this by allowing yourself to travel when you can travel. I know that now things are a little bit dicey in that regard. But you can also expand by raising your consciousness. This could be taking a deep dive into spirituality, learning a new subject, teaching a new subject. And really, the greatest aspect of the ninth house is experiencing yourself all over the world. So if you want to expand in your profession and let all four corners of the world experience more of you, this would be the new moon for it. That's why the ninth house, it rules publishing and broadcasting and even law, whatever it is that you can do to get your energy more all over the world. This could be just working with people internationally, people, all over the world, but it's about expanding and feeling as if you're growing spiritually. And oftentimes, because the ninth house is so close to the 10th, it is often about your career and your mark that you make in the world. So this is about you expanding and growing. So keep that in mind. Let's see what you need to know for your new moon in Capricorn, Taurus. It's in your ninth house. Four of Cups. Okay, so this is an interesting card. It's 4, right? And 4 is a very stable number, and cups are the water element. So what that means is there's emotional stability, so to speak. But the problem with 4 cups is that water, by its very nature, is not, stable. It flows, it ebbs. So oftentimes with the 4 cups, there can be a certain level of apathy. Like we look at this card, the dude has 3 cups over here, and he seems a little bit dejected with his arms folded, but then there's this cup that's being delivered to him that he's sort of ignoring or not seeing. So often with the 4 cups, something is lost and something is gained. There may be some things this new moon or you might be experiencing this new moon, this sense of rejection or apathy. But really, it's a matter of focusing on what it is that you do have and noticing that with any losses that you're experiencing right now, there's also a gain. Another aspect with 4 of Cups is about it's about apathy. Oftentimes it's like 2 things: that you're giving love to somebody and they're sort of blasé about it, or you're getting love from somebody and you're blasé about it. So it's important to just look at all the abundance that you have in your life. The good aspect of this card is that you're just filled with contentment and you don't really need anything else. And that's really, really good for Taurus, just being like, everything's fine. But with this card, it's a matter of doing whatever it is that you can to keep things feeling as good as possible and recognize that any losses that you may have incurred over the past few months, that there's gains there, and you need to sort of open up your eyes to see them. And from that perspective, you can really do a lot this new moon. You can expand and you can grow and you can experience more of yourself. And most important, it's about allowing the world to experience more of you. So happy new moon, Taurus. Gemini. So this new moon is hitting your 8th house of rebirth and transformation. So it's a letting go transit. It's about you doing what you can to rise like a phoenix from the ashes. During an 8th house transit, typically you're going to let go of something, like something is going bye-bye. So it's important to be flexible and really gentle with yourself, and to know that this death, this transformation, this rebirth, it's engendered to make you stronger and more powerful. And that's really the key with an 8th house transit. It has to do in a lot of respects with shared resources, combining resources with another person or entity. It's the house that's ruled by Scorpio, the eighth house. So essentially, when you're combining your resources with somebody else's resources, they can either make you stronger or weaker or keep things the same. And with this transit, it's a matter of you want to share your resources and combine with other people that make you stronger. If somebody is debilitating you or something is debilitating you, it's important for you to release that and let that go. Further, the eighth house transit is just very empowering. It's very much about you going through this like rebirth of self. So in a lot of respects, everything is really on the table for you, whatever it is that you want to do, but it's a matter of being reborn into the new identity that you want to express, the new aspect of yourself that you want to express. So it's sort of, it can be a new job, it can be a new relationship, it can be a new house, it can be anything. But there's new stuff that's on the horizon. But now, over the next 4 weeks, it will be most advantageous to let go. What is love flows and what is not goes is a good thing to remember. So let's see, Gemini, what you need to know for your eighth house transit with your new moon in Capricorn. Five of Swords. So this in regard to your eighth house transit, it's a matter of you want to make sure that you are watching your back, essentially. So in this card, you have this dude, and he has this like snide little smart ass grin on his face, as if he had taken these swords from these guys. And he he is all about self-interest. So you have to determine, with this card, are you being the one that's being vindictive, or are you cheating people? Are you playing like doing underhanded things and not being really forthright? This could be like a Pyrrhic victory. And with this transformation that you're going toward with this new moon, it's important for you to, obviously take the high road. You'll feel better about yourself. But the other aspect of this card is sometimes you need to have self-interest, especially when you're going through an eighth house transit. So it's important that if you're sharing something with somebody else, a joint bank account or anything that you're combining with other people, you got to make sure that you're really watching your back. I'm not saying that anybody's going to betray you. I'm saying instead that it's a matter of making sure that during this transit, you're getting stronger in an upstanding way, that you're not doing anything that could be detrimental to your honor, and that making sure that you're keeping your honor and protecting your honor for yourself, thereby not letting other people take advantage of you. So in a lot of respects, when I do readings, if somebody ever asks, can I trust this person? It's usually two things. One, this person just doesn't trust themselves and they don't trust anyone. And they think everybody's out to get them. Or it could be a matter of they are intuiting that this person is just not trustworthy. If you do not think somebody is trustworthy, if you have that hunch, they are probably not. Always follow your intuition. So with this eighth house transit especially, it's important that you let go of anything that is not serving your highest good. You are going through a rebirth, and you don't want to be reborn into a state in which you're taking advantage of other people or being taken advantage of. So, watch your back, be upstanding, be honorable, and have a wonderful new moon. Cancer. So this new moon is transiting your seventh house because Capricorn is the opposite of your sign. And that means that Capricorn hits your house of partnerships. So it's all about relationships, the others in your life. This could be your spouse. This could be your best friend. This could be a business partner. This could also be your audience if you cater to the public, if you're, either on TV or have an audience at work or a classroom, anything that would represent like the other in your life. That's the focus this new moon. So if you're looking to get a new relationship, this is a really great new moon for it. If you're looking to empower the relationships that you're in now, it's very good for that too. It's important under the new moon hitting your 7th house, that you focus on the others in your life and allow yourself to really make them the big deal right now. You'll get this back in 6 months when the transit is opposite, when the sun's in Cancer. So for your new moon, whatever it is that you can do that really serves the other in your life, be your audience or a partner, personal or professional, that's going to be most advantageous for you. And any dreams or hopes or wishes that you have about your audience, partnerships for the future, this is a great new moon for that. So let's see, Cancer, what you get for your new moon in Capricorn. New moon Capricorn. The World. Okay, wow. This is quite a cool card. So in the World, you got freedom and a sense of being almost like this dancer in the universe. It's freeing yourself from your limitations, which is going to allow you to maximize your creative potential. So this is like a conclusion that's happening in your life right now. It's like you've reached this really, really cool place. So in a lot of respects, you can expect with this new moon to bring you a sense of completion and freedom and really total success. If you notice in this card, you got the four figures over here. You have the man, you have the eagle, you have the lion, you have the bull, and those 4 symbols are reminiscent of the 4 elements. And when you get the World card in a reading, you have successfully balanced your 4 elements, which allows you to manifest everything. So for this new moon, you have, the lion, which is about Leo, and this is about going with your heart and creating from your heart. And then you have the eagle, which is about Scorpio, and that's about following what has heart and meaning, following it. And then you have the human face, which is reminiscent of Aquarius, and that's about touching upon a new aspect of yourself. So you want to allow yourself in your journey to surprise yourself, to not know what your playbook is, to touch upon a new aspect of yourself and allow yourself to be inspired. And then finally with Taurus, the bull, this is about creating tangible results, like show me the money, and also making waves, making impact in the world, however you would define tangible results. So if you follow those 4 things, which it looks like you are, you will be right here in the universe, free and having a lot of fun and feeling vindicated in a lot of ways. So in terms of your relationships, this is about closing a cycle. In terms of your partnerships, there might be somebody that goes bye-bye. Now might be a time in which you're like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to get in a relationship. Or it's a matter of you just determining what kind of relationship that you want. So we'll have a wonderful new moon in Capricorn, Cancer. Leo. So this new moon in Capricorn is transiting your 6th house. The 6th house in astrology pertains to health and work. It's essentially your lifestyle. You want your life to run like a well-oiled machine, and that means making sure that you're really healthy, that your body's all tuned up, but it's also making sure that you have your systems and processes in place with your day-to-day, typically with your job. So this new moon is really great for embarking on a self-improvement program, starting a new diet and exercise regime. It's also good for making adjustments to your job or getting a new job. This is a really great transit for getting new employment, getting new work, scoring a new gig, or focusing on the work that you already enjoy. With the 6th house transit, it's very much important to find the right combination of things that make you well and happy. It's about your lifestyle, the 6th house. So, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, as they say. You want to make sure that you're balancing things, and that your diet is very balanced. Now, that's not just pertaining to the food that you eat, but it's the diet of the friends that you have around you, the diet of the movies that you watch, the music you listen to. You want it to be all very, very well balanced. This is a really great new moon for you to feel as perfect as possible. That's really going to be key, because the better that you feel physically, the easier it is for you to allow the universe to flow through you. And then you don't have to waste your energy. You can be like a conduit, and you can be connected, linked up with source. And when you're linked up with source, well, you have more power than really millions of other people, right? You don't want to feel like you're doing it all on your own. And your superpower, Leo, is your heart. Like, everybody's heart is really the most powerful place on their body, because at the energy at its basis is love. Like, even when, you know, a child screams at, you know, their parent, I hate you. The child doesn't hate the parent. The child loves the parent, and is operating from that dashed expectation of love. So energy at its basis is love. So if you can stay in that love vibration, you know, loving your work, loving your body, acting like you love your work, acting like you love your body. Oftentimes when we act a certain way, we can step into that more easily. So let's see, Leo, what you need to know for your new moon in Capricorn. Three of Wands. This is a cool card. This is established strength. So you have, whether you know it or not, have achieved a certain level of success in your life, and you've established yourself. You've established, you know, your power and your strength and your ability. So in terms of work, this is a matter of not, you know, looking at your job or going into a new job situation feeling as if, you know, they're doing you a favor. No. You've worked your butt off and you have great cred. So it's a matter of coming from this place of strength. When you're going into that interview, if you're looking for a new job or you're signing on with an agent or whatever, know that you're coming from a place that is incredibly strong and empowered. Make sure that you have that energy around you. Build yourself up, because with this, it would say to me that you may, because guy's back is turned to us, you may not always recognize the strength that you have and what you already have achieved. This card is also about, you know, being a visionary, going there first. You are, of course, a leader. So it's important for you to allow yourself to look at the world and see the open vistas as yours, as this guy is doing on the card. It's a matter of looking at the world and saying, okay, how do I want to play? Because that's what you're all about. You're all about like playing, having fun, and really expressing yourself and your inner child. So do whatever you can this new moon to, you know, be a leader. Even in terms of your health, because that's another sixth house thing that you're going through right now. You know, be a leader in terms of the people that are around you. Set a good example. Oftentimes, in order to learn something, it's best to just teach it. That's the easiest way to really, really learn something, because then when you're teaching it, you step into that role of authority, and then other people ask questions, and then you're able to, you know, you teach as you learn. So that might be another thing to consider in terms of your career. You know, is now a time for you to really step into a leadership role. That could be really great for you and those whom you lead. So happy new moon in Capricorn, Leo. Virgo. So this new moon in Capricorn is hitting your fifth house. And the fifth house is such a great house in astrology. It's all about play and doing things that you really, really love, and romance and self-expression, and anything that just really lights you up. It also could pertain to romance as well as children. The fifth house is about creation. It's the house of pleasure. So when you allow yourself to create anything, be it, you know, a candlelit dinner, or you know, a project, a poem that you're writing, or really a business plan, you know, with the fifth house in Capricorn, you enjoy, and practical things really light you up. So for this new moon, it's very much about you allowing yourself to create things that really, really light you up and let your inner child sing and play. So that could be, you know, really, really enjoying your business if you have a business, or even enjoying your work if you have work. It's also about, you know, allowing yourself to look at relationships through somewhat of a practical lens. Like, you know, the fifth house it rules true love. It's not partnership. That's a seventh house. So it's kind of funny. You would think that like the house of true love would also be the house of partnerships, but it doesn't work that way. Obviously, it would be great for the fifth house person to be the same as the seventh house person, and often it is. But with the fifth house, it's about true love. It's more about being like a teenager than an adult. It's about dating. It's about romance. It's about passion. It's about play. It's about going to the movies. So do what you can this new moon to not feel as if you want to, put a ring on it. You can instead just allow yourself to enjoy love and the beginning stages of relationships, courtship. That's what the fifth house is all about. And in terms of creative projects, this is the new moon to get stuff off the ground, stuff that really, really excites you, especially business. I mean, the fifth house Capricorn, typically you will have fun creating stuff professionally and being really, really practical. Even creating like schedules and orders, that tends to really light up Virgo. So let's see, Virgo, what you need to know for your new moon in Capricorn, which is hitting your fifth house. The World. So funny. Yeah, somebody else got this card too. So the World card is about success, and you are closing a big cycle in your life in terms of creativity, especially this new moon. So congratulations. And the next thing for you really is to discover what's next for you in the world. Often with this card, you're gonna experience more of the world, and the world's gonna experience more of you. It's about being aware of your limitations and then being able to maximize your creative potential. So with the world, it's also it's a matter of determining what it is that you want in the world and manifesting more of that. If we notice, we have the four symbols on all four corners of the card, which is a reminiscent of the four elements. And this is really the recipe for success for whatever it is that you want. With the Leo, the lion, you want to follow what excites you, what's really creative, and being creative, and following whatever brings you joy. And then with the eagle, that's reminiscent of Scorpio. It's following what has heart and meaning. So it's not just a matter of something that excites you, but it needs to feel emotionally good and meaningful to you. And then you have the human face, which is reminiscent of Aquarius, and that's about touching upon a new aspect of yourself. Oftentimes we get into like rote and doing things, and we don't always get to surprise ourselves when we're being creative. And that's important with this human face with Aquarius. It's all about being inspired and really surprising yourself, and being somewhat unpredictable, touching upon a new aspect of yourself. And that's sort of a good rule of thumb. Whatever creative project you're working on, did I surprise myself? Did I touch upon an aspect of myself I didn't know was there? And then finally with Taurus, it's about tangible results. Like, are we making progress? Which I don't think typically you're going to have a problem with. But with four elements here, that's the recipe for success. And it looks like you've already done that, knowingly or unknowingly. So the next stage for you is to determine what it is that you want in the world. Make sure you enjoy your success. I mean, this is a laurel wreath that is around the figure in the card. So it's important to celebrate your successes in the process of making something work. So happy new moon in Capricorn, Virgo. Libra, happy new moon in Capricorn. This new moon is hitting your fourth house. Typically, the fourth house is called house of home and family, but I find that very, very limiting. At the end of the day, the fourth house is whatever makes you feel emotionally secure. Oftentimes that is our home. It's where we go to nest and rest. But at the end of the day, it's really more about feeling really yummy and feeling very, very secure and feeling very, very safe, and at home within the self. You take your home around with you wherever you go. There's not, somebody doesn't, feel really good at home and then go on vacation and feel like, nervous wreck. So you take your home around with you wherever it is that you go. So this is the new moon for you to really, really nourish and nurture yourself as much as possible. We all have that divine mother and that divine father within us that can guide us to happiness and success and greatness. And it's a matter of you are the one that can tap into that, right? Nobody else knows how to love you like you know. Our parents, I mean, I think that just by the very nature of becoming individuals, individualization, um, they're not going to really get it. They're not going to always know how it is that they need to love us. And the fourth house is really very much reminiscent of parents and the divine parent within, particularly the mother with the fourth house. So use this time to really nourish and nurture yourself. Spend some time, really thinking about what it is that you want next. In a lot of respects, this could be a new home. So you may indeed decide, I need to move. You might decide to decorate. Because again, that home is becoming a metaphor for how you nourish yourself. This home concept, it's like a dome, Capricorn as well as Cancer, fourth house, as well as 10th house. It's all about doming. It's creating like protection around yourself. So, you're able to go about your life and feel secure. For instance, when kids are like bullied in school, they were bullied at home first. I mean, you're not going to be going to school and before you go to school, being loved and cared for and nourished and nurtured, and then go to school and get bullied. That just is not, that doesn't happen. Your energy speaks, bully me, or I'm a victim, or, I'm being stripped of my power, and then the bullies come and get you. But if you're being empowered every morning by your parents before you go to school, or if a child is, then you're not going to get bullied. So the same thing in terms of adults, right? Like you can't be really victimized or hurt unless you're in that behavior pattern already. So make sure that you're nourishing and nurturing yourself as much as possible and really tapping into that divine mother during this period, and find out what it is that you need to feel really, really emotionally secure, really, really safe, and really at home within the self. So let's see what you get for your new moon in Capricorn, Libra. The Fool. So this is pretty awesome. The Fool is card number 0. So you're starting on a brand new path. This is the very first card of the tarot. And it's about you allowing yourself to take this like leap of faith, doing whatever it is that you can to start fresh and to not look at your life as something that is static, that's not changing. This card is saying that you're not going to do anything the same ever again. Like there's a brand new beginning. You're starting from scratch. In light of your fourth house, this could be a new home. This could be you saying, okay, I really want to, change my living environment. You may even decide that you want to leave the state. You might want to leave the country, but it's a fresh start. This card, the Fool, it's about brand new beginnings and experiences, not just craved, but obtained. So this new moon for you is very much about starting over. When you're the Fool card, you're nothing and you're everything simultaneously. And both of those phrases are empowering in different ways. If you were to say, I'm nothing, it's great. So I'm not a dad, I'm not a husband, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a student, I'm nothing, and it frees you up, right? But also if you say I'm everything, then you're the entire universe, and that also is empowering. So the Fool is nothing as well as everything. So you may want to practice that vibration, and then determine, okay, it's a tabula rasa now for you. What do you want in your life? Particularly, what is it that's going to make you feel secure? And that's why I don't think that home and family is enough for the fourth house. It's about security. Security might mean $1 million in the bank for you. Security might mean a full-time job. Security might mean making sure that you have friends around you or living closer to your relatives. Whatever it is, it's going to be up to you to determine that. But with the Fool card, there's stuff that's just brand spanking new. So enjoy this new path and happy new moon. Scorpio, happy new moon in Capricorn. So this new moon is hitting your third house of the lower mind, which is essentially about communications, your interactions and how you communicate. So the very most important person you'll ever communicate with is yourself. You create your life, of course, by the words that you say to yourself and the pictures that you paint in your head. So this is a new moon for you to really up the ante in terms of empowering self-talk and really just being very, very nice and considerate to yourself. And even, thinking out loud or journaling, that can be very advantageous for you this new moon. You feel so much, Scorpio, that sometimes it might be hard for you to determine, what you think is logical. And that's a really big aspect of the third house. It's about, clarity. And that clarity is so important with your manifestations, especially under the Capricorn new moon, because Capricorn, as well as Saturn, Capricorn's ruler, they want definition. They want clarity. So like for a vision board, that's why vision boards are so great, because you actually can see, okay, clearly, this is what I want. So clarity is a big aspect of this transit for you. It's also about any form of communications, writing, making phone calls, emails, anything that you do to communicate. During this transit, if you are a writer, it's really, really great because you can move forward and really get a manuscript into shape. Any other form of communication, even public speaking is of course ruled by the third house. The act of writing your speech would be a third house thing. So anything that you want to communicate, this is a really big transit for that. It also has to do with learning. So you may decide under this transit to take up a new course of study, learn something new, or even teach something new. It's all about getting your ideas really in order and becoming an expert communicator. You are a water sign, Scorpio, but you're air of water, so you're the most intellectual water sign. So you're very much thought focused. And because you feel so much, it's important to remember that the thoughts that you think create your emotions. So you want to make sure that you're having as many good feeling thoughts as possible. In fact, whenever you're not feeling good about something, you're thinking about it in a way that is different from the way source is seeing it, because source sees everything as working out for you, even if you mess up. So keep that in mind. If you're ever feeling bad about something, you're not thinking about it in the best way. And this is a really great transit to train yourself to think about things as always working out for you. And if you believe that, then you are. That's why the third house is really important too, because your beliefs create your reality. First, you create your beliefs, and your beliefs create you. And beliefs are really just thoughts that you keep thinking. Outside of yourself, on the spiritual realm, this transit can be about, again, socialization, communicating with other people. You may want to communicate better with the people that are in your life, making really clear what it is that you need from them, what it is that you would like the relationship to become, the problems that you might be having in a relationship. So this transit's all about you becoming a really good communicator with yourself and others in your life. So let's see what card you get for your new moon in Capricorn, Scorpio. Nine of Wands. So in this card, we see this guy, and he has a wand here, and he's a little bandaged up, right? He's a little bandaged up. He has something on his head over here, like he got hit or something. And if you notice though, that he's in this very defensive posture, but all of the wands here are, upright, and they're in order, and they're not coming at him. So this is like preparing for an attack that never comes. Like, everybody's fine. Nobody's attacking you. Chill out. So in a lot of respects, it's like that over emphasis of protection, of defensiveness is not necessary. And Scorpio, honestly, you guys are always on survival mode. Your sign pertains to emotional trauma. That's why you guys are so tough and so strong and so powerful, because you've been through things that other people have not been through. But comes with that is this sense of always having to be like on guard. And I'm not suggesting change your personality if you're a defensive person. I'm just saying that allow yourself to be open to expressing yourself under this transit. It's a third house transit, so you want to allow yourself to communicate, with your heart and to be open and to not be defensive. Otherwise, the Nine of Wands is really about you completing a cycle. You're very, very close to the end. So if you are in the process of trying to make something work, this card would suggest that you're on your way. It's like you're near that finish line, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, with the Nine of Wands, if an attack were to come with this guy, he'd be able to protect himself. So I guess my advice to you is that, if you need to protect yourself, you know how to, you're okay. That with that in mind, you don't want to constantly be on guard, because that could keep other people from communicating with you openly. And it can, of course, keep you from communicating with others openly. It can also, with that defensiveness, keep you from learning new things or sharing your ideas or writing down your ideas or communicating your ideas. And that's what this transit is all about. I think finally, with the Nine of Wands, you don't want to be defensive with yourself. It's like, allow yourself to know what thoughts that you think and work with them. And remember that, feelings are temporary. And it's just changing the thoughts that you have in your head can change the way that you feel. And feeling for you is everything. For all of us, it's really everything. Feeling is the secret. So you want to always feel the way you would feel if you would get what it is that you want. What I mean by that is, say you're looking for a new relationship, you might want to ask yourself, how would you feel if you were in that relationship? Would you feel loved, and would you cared for, nourished and nurtured and respected, and sort of owning that vibration and practicing that feeling? Because oftentimes we don't get what it is that we want, because the certain feelings that getting what we want would entail are foreign to us. So be open with yourself and what you think, and really have a look at how you do think things will turn out, because your belief really creates your reality. Like whatever it is that you want, you have to align what it is that you want with the belief that you can have it, and then you can get it. So happy new moon in Capricorn, Scorpio. Sagittarius. So this new moon is hitting your second house. They call it the house of finances, but I think that's a little bit limiting. It's really the house of self-worth, which obviously helps you manifest finances, that sense of worthiness. It's your worthiness and your deservability, coupled with, of course, hard work and talent that brings you financial rewards. But most important with the second house transit, it's really your throat chakra. It's your voice and speaking up, because that's your value. And really, under a second house transit, you want to act like the most valuable person in the world. Oftentimes, if I have a client and they are being mistreated by their supervisor, by their mate, or even by a friend, I ask them, if you were the most valuable person in the world, how would you handle this situation? And oftentimes it's very different from what they're currently doing. But that's the key for you during this transit. You want to leave this transit in a month. You want to feel more valuable than you ever have before. And that means speaking up. Oftentimes with the second house transit, it's a matter of really focusing on how your throat feels. The body does not lie. It cannot lie. So if you have any throat issues, or you had a sore throat, then that might mean that you're not speaking up about something. There's like that expression, I'm so angry, I can't speak. And people sometimes, when they're really angry, they actually get laryngitis. They can't speak. So you want to express what's in your throat. You want to express your voice. You want to express how you feel about things. Even if it's not, you can do it in a very safe way. For instance, if your boss, you feel like your boss is just a total horrible person, you don't necessarily need to tell him that and put yourself in jeopardy, put your job in jeopardy. but you can write him a letter, or you can vent to a safe friend, whatever, but you need to release that in a healthy way. And that's going to help you be more valuable. And it's also going to help you communicate better, of course, because your throat chakra is where you communicate. If you're looking for a new job, this is a really good transit for it. If you're looking for more money, this is a really good transit for it. If you're looking for self-expression, more self-expression, and letting your talent be recognized, because that's another aspect of the second house, is your talent, your voice. And you want to allow yourself to express yourself, because when you're expressing your voice as much as possible, what you're doing is you're expressing your talent. And in fact, talent, that word in biblical times was actually a unit and measure. So you would pay a talent for something, and then you would get that something. Nowadays, what we do is we express our talent, and that results in money. So there's that correlation there. Anything you can do to express yourself more is really great. I would really advise singing, even if you're not a good singer, maybe in the shower, or when you're, exercising or whatever. That really helps open up the throat chakra, and any form of creative expression, even painting, anything that allows you to express yourself. Essentially, you want like the energy that's in your heart to move up. So the heart chakra moves up to the throat. And you might want to wear sky blue, the color sky blue, because that's reminiscent of the throat chakra, which will really help. Even if you're looking for a new job, honestly, in terms of getting the job, or even going through, negotiations, it's really about your value. So I would definitely suggest you, yodel or something, or sing, or express yourself before you have an interview, or before you do anything in which you want to get paid more, or you want your value to be appreciated. So let's see what you get, Sagittarius, for your new moon in Capricorn. Page of Swords. Okay, so the Page of Swords, it's really about communication in a lot of ways. It's about really making things super clear. And oftentimes, the Page of Swords, it's about delivering news that is not that great. So if you have to say some things that don't feel good, the Page of Swords just is really good at allowing herself to communicate what needs to be said without making like a big deal about it. So in regard to your second house transit, there's going to be sometimes things that you have to say that people might not like. So if somebody say treats you poorly, the Page of Swords is like you saying like, don't talk to me like that, right? Or I don't appreciate you doing that. Or if you're a supervisor, you might have to say, why did you show up late? Or why are you not doing your job, whatever it might be. But again, that throat chakra that needs to be open during this transit for you, sometimes in order to open it, you have to say things that might be unpleasant. Otherwise, with the Page of Swords, this is about learning something new, learning a new form of communication, however that might be for you. Maybe you want to study something, maybe you want to teach something even. But the Page of Swords, it's sort of going back to, in a lot of respects, like grade school, when you're learning, socialization, and you're learning how to communicate, and you're learning how to be clear. But I think that overall with the Page of Swords, it's about learning something new, even how to communicate bad news, and allowing that unpleasantness to flow as well. You're not responsible for anybody else's feelings, and you just are really responsible for making sure that you're thinking on a very, very practical level. And that's what the Page of Swords does. It's the principle of practical thinking and embodies logic. So over this transit for you, make sure that you make things clear. Don't expect people to be mind readers. If you need to be treated in a certain way, or something doesn't really float well with you, then it's about communicating that. And also I would, if you have any inclination to write, or do some public speaking, or any form of communication, definitely with the Page of Swords and your second house transit, this would be the new moon to do it. So happy new moon in Capricorn, Sagittarius. Capricorn. So this is your new moon. Happy birthday. So when the moon is transiting your first house, it's the house of identity. So identity is everything, right? Because whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever you want to achieve, you essentially have to be the vibration of that in order to achieve it, which comes down to your identity. So when you are going through a first house transit like you are now, it's a matter of determining who you want to be, which according to Nietzsche is who you actually are. So it is a time of reinvention, but more importantly, it's a time of reassertion. Who are you asserting yourself as on your solar return, your birthday? Who is the new you that's going to be jumping out of the cake and asserting him or herself to the world? So this is a time in which anything's on the table for you. You can manifest whatever it is that you want under this first house transit, because again, it comes down to who it is that you are. You want a relationship, then you have to be somebody who has an open heart, who relates well with other people. You want to be a billionaire, then you have to allow yourself to express within yourself all of that wealth, all of the knowledge that you have, and all of your, your resources, what you have within you, and be that vibration. And that really is really key. It's very simple in a lot of respects. If you take a 3-step process, so you decide who you are, who you want to be, right? Then you trust the decision. And then finally, you act like you trust the decision, which is essentially decision maintenance. So that's what you want to do during this new moon, whatever it is that you're looking for. A shortcut, because I know you guys like shortcuts, is to really look at somebody who has what you want and really determine like what is their self-construct. Oftentimes we don't get what we want because it's a metaphorical death of our self-construct. So if somebody's always used to being disenfranchised, then they might actually stay disenfranchised, because becoming somebody who's empowered and is empowered by other people and supported by other people represents a death of the self, the death of their self-construct, which is, of course, terrifying, right? Because you're changing yourself, but you just have to decide who it is that you want to be. Trust the decision and act like you trust the decision. We don't have personalities that are fixed. Charlie Chaplin entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest and got 3rd place. So essentially, we're making ourselves up as we go along. There might be that sense that we're consistent, but really we're constantly deciding who it is that we are. So you just have to make a decision. I'll make a big one. I would really go big with this beautiful Capricorn new moon, because also the new moon in Capricorn is conjunct Pluto. So it's all about death and rebirth and transformation. So if you want to make a huge change, this would probably be the new moon to do it. But let's see, Capricorn, what you get for your new moon in your sign. The sun. This is awesome. Happy birthday. I mean, solar, return, sun. It's apropos, right? So this is a wonderful card. This is about a brand new beginning and feeling as you would feel if you were the sun. If you were the sun or a sun god or a sun goddess, you'd feel radiant and sparkling and powerful, profoundly sure of your power. And you shine on everybody without reducing yourself. The sun does that, right? So this is a really wonderful new beginning for you. With your new moon in your first house, essentially what's going to make you feel like the sun, that is what you want to go toward, what really, really excites you. And it's also about you, allowing yourself to experience like sunny things. You may, when you can, I don't know what travel is going to be, like soon, but maybe it's a nice escape to a warmer climate. It could even be with the sun card, a move to a warmer climate if you desire that. But overall, the sun is the most powerful card or highest energy card in the deck. So it's all about you doing whatever it is that you can to feel really, really powerful and allow yourself to really, really shine and allow yourself joy. The cool thing about being a Capricorn is that you grow old in reverse, both physically as well as spiritually or emotionally. What I mean by that is Capricorn is from the school of hard knocks. like they've had a tough life. They haven't had anything really handed to them. They've had to work really hard. Oftentimes in their youth, they're given an awful lot of responsibility and, quite frankly, are deprived of a normal childhood. But the cool thing is that as they progress and as they grow older, they actually get to have fun, and that actually shows up on their face, because Capricorns grow old in reverse. It seems very Benjamin Button, in the sense that they look often younger at 40 than they did 30. So that's really good. Essentially, when you get older as a Capricorn, that's like time for you to like relax and enjoy yourself and really find out what life is all about. And that's really about allowing yourself joy. I think a lot of people who have strong Capricorn or 10th house placements in their chart, they don't trust that sense of joy because they were deprived of a normal childhood, and that's really what joy is supposed to be about in childhood, or that's what childhood is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about joy and following your excitement and allowing yourself to feel, prized and vindicated. And that's what's up for you for this solar return for your new moon. So really enjoy this. Do whatever it is that you can to, get some sunshine with your SPF, but also, whatever you can to feel like the sun. Happy birthday, Capricorn, and happy new moon. Aquarius. So this new moon in Capricorn is preparing you for your birthday, which is coming up. So when you have your birthday, it's like you're jumping out of a cake, right? Like, it's my birthday. But before that happens, now you're putting ingredients in the cake. So this is a time, a 12th house transit for you, in which you'll be needing to nest and rest and hibernate and really allow yourself to spend some time alone if you can, doing whatever it is that you can to really focus on the spirituality within yourself. The 12th house transit it's really about the subconscious, and we get in life what we subconsciously are by virtue of like attracting like. So it's about baking that cake or making that cake. What ingredients are you putting in it? What are you saying to yourself on a regular basis? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are there other people telling you that you're taking in? Because all of those ingredients that are within you, when it comes for your birthday, that's when you're asserting your identity. I am, and then you'll be filling in the blank. But now is the time that you really want to flood your subconscious with whatever it is that you want to achieve in this new year. Your subconscious is so very important. And there's so many wonderful resources out there now that tell you how you can really train your subconscious. Vision boards are so great because you're seeing this image and, your subconscious sees something or it hears something so much. It's like, well, I'm hearing this so much, it must be true. It's sort of like analogous to like the old tapes that sometimes play in people's heads. Well, you can replace those old tapes, and that's really key to what you want to do now. You want to focus on your beliefs and making sure that they're aligned with what it is that you want. So there's the expression, I think it was Neville Goddard, is that you can have whatever it is that you want so long as you already have it. What this means is that you need to be the vibration of something in order for you to attract it or allow it into your life. And by doing so, you're creating that vibrational atmosphere. So in a lot of respects, it's a matter of allowing yourself to really flood your subconscious with what it is that you want to achieve. Every change takes place in the consciousness first, the psyche first, and then you actually see the tangible results. So before somebody loses weight, or before somebody gets married, or before somebody gets a house or whatever, that change happened in their psyche. It happened in their consciousness. So you want to do whatever it is that you can now to plant those seeds. So then you're getting what it is that you want when your birthday comes. So let's see what you get, Aquarius, for your new moon in Capricorn, which is hitting your 12th house. The Emperor. Okay. So the Emperor is a great card. You are going to be very, very busy. When the Emperor card comes up in a reading, you're going to be experiencing this energy in your life somehow. So this is like the dad energy. This is very rational, very, very, very strong. Trains run on time. Things are on schedule. It's a bit of a tough ass, right? He's all about order and structure and being rational. So you're going to be experiencing this energy somehow in your life. Probably you, right? So when the Emperor comes up, you're going to be really having to bring it. I think that in light of your 12th house transit, it's about really creating a certain level of structure and order in your mind. And the Emperor card is number 4. And think of the 4 elements, fire, water, air, and earth. Whatever it is that you want to manifest, you want to really utilize those 4 elements. You want to be passionate and follow your excitement and bring fire to your endeavors. And you want to make sure that you're emotionally engaged, that you're doing what has heart and meaning, you're putting your heart into it. And with air, you want to always do what you can to like surprise yourself, touch upon a new aspect of yourself, get excited, be inspired. And then finally, with earth, you want to focus on tangible results. You want to actually see things being progressing and making progress. So the Emperor is really about creating that order, that structure in your life. I think that in light of your 12th house transit now too, it's about creating those boundaries. In a lot of respects, it's important to create that sense of structure around yourself. So you have the space now to really commune with yourself and really commune with your soul and really give yourself that the luxury of feeding your subconscious what it is that you want to achieve this new year. But yeah, with the Emperor card, it's going to be important for you to make sure that you get your rest when you can, because you're going to be very, very busy. Otherwise, with the Emperor card, it could be somebody else. It could be a father figure in your life, an authority, and that might be really, really big for you right now, you coming to terms with how you relate with this figure. In light of your 12th house transit, it's a matter of understanding your subconscious beliefs. Sometimes we label people and we solicit those things from them. For instance, if I say my boss is a real jerk, what I'm doing is I'm putting a label on him and I'm projecting that onto him. And from my energy is coming this projection, this jerk. And what I'm doing is I'm soliciting jerkiness from him. Whereas if you put a label on him, oh, my boss is not that great, that bad of a guy. Well, you're putting that on him, or my boss is actually really generous. That sort of projects onto him, and it will be solicited from him most often, depending on how much of a jerk he is, right? But essentially, this is about this transit for you in light of your Tower card, the Emperor. It's really about being the authority in your life or working with authority in a better way, and that really falls down to your belief system and your subconscious. So make sure you nest and rest. Do whatever it is that you can to take extra good care of yourself. Maybe meditate, self-hypnosis. And really, honestly, Aquarius, under 12th house transit, you do not have the luxury of a negative thought. It's just really dumb. Like if you find yourself going negative, you got to get into a space. I'm not saying that you need to like get really, really happy if you're miserable, but you got to do whatever you can to soothe yourself to at least get in neutral territory, because this is a very important time for you. It's very important that you make sure that you're only thinking those thoughts that feel good. So happy new moon in Capricorn, Aquarius. Pisces. So this new moon in Capricorn is transiting your 11th house. The 11th house is the house of why not? So it's about your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, your goals. Those pie in the sky ideals that you can go after right now, because the 11th house says if you have a wish for something, that comes with the built-in ability for you to achieve it. So the 11th house is really that house of why not. Like if you want something, you can get it. So don't be afraid during this period to dream those big, big dreams, especially in terms of worldly success. The 11th house can be about, stardom. It can be about community. It can be about, recognition, being, the star. So determine, what are your highest ambitions. Oftentimes, I find that it's good for people to like think back to their childhood and really ask, okay, well, what did I want to be when I was growing up? Because when you grow up, then you're sort of taught, or you start to believe that you can't achieve those aims. But by looking back at the childhood, that might get you an idea of what it is that you want to go after this new moon. The 11th house is also really about community and friends, people of like-minded interests. So this is a wonderful new moon for you to determine what kind of group you want to be in, and find out, what find your tribe, and determine, what you value that these other people value too. When you have friends, when you have community around you, even online in this era of COVID, it can be very, very empowering, especially with you, Pisces, because you're so sensitive and you take so much in. So it's important to be a little bit discriminating, judicious when it comes to determining what groups that you want around you. Overall, it really is about this 11th house transit going after whatever it is that really, really lights you up. No matter how far-fetched it might be, I think that it's important to just, go after those impossible goals, because that's the only way to really achieve epic success. So consider that. Let's see, Pisces, what you need to know for your new moon in Capricorn, which is transiting your 11th house. Four of Wands. What a great card. So the Four of Wands is about perfected work. It's about completion. It's about Thanksgiving. You get four wands here, and wands have to do with passion. So when you have a four, it's a matter of like stabilizing your passion. This could be a creative project that you have stabilized, or it could be a matter of, you've done such great work that everything now it's like, oh, we did it. We stabilized this. We created something. We completed something. This card is just such a happy card. It's a very, very much like when you're like a little kid and you see this like birthday cake coming your way, lit with candles, and everybody's singing, and it's that high of as a kite feeling that you get. And that's really reminiscent of the Four of Wands. It's about, a feeling of just joy and completion and just excitement. And it's very much about something ending, but then something beginning like straight away. So it's like a victory celebration. It's almost like, oh yeah, we won. Okay, we get to go on to the next thing. With this card, it's important under this transit for you to complete something. It's also important for you to make sure that you're stabilizing your passion, whatever you're passionate about, doing whatever you can to give your passion feet, give it, stability, make something real, give it definition, give it structure, and make it solid. That's really key with the Four of Wands. Another thing that's really important with this card is that in the process of trying to make something work, it's very important to celebrate your victories along the way, even very small ones, because that's going to create momentum. It's a wonderful card for you to get. Thanksgiving and just celebration and just really enjoying yourself. And it's just a big sigh of relief. And I think that as a Pisces, you're so magical and you're so spiritual, and so many, different concepts about, spirituality and how the world works intuitively. And in terms of your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your goals, with the Four of Wands, it's sort of a matter of, coming from that place, coming from the place of already having achieved it. So there is this concept, which I believe in a lot of people also believe, that all time is happening simultaneously. There's no past, present, and future. Even our past lives are actually happening concurrently. So with the Four of Wands, and in terms of your 11th house goals, say you have a dream. Well, there is a reality, a probable reality, a parallel reality in which that had already been achieved. And with the Four of Wands, it's a matter of coming from that place and allowing yourself to move from that space of having already achieved what it is that you desire. So if you can allow yourself to really imagine and really tap into that energy, that's the probable reality. That's the parallel reality you'll be tapping into. So in terms of your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your goals, determine what it is that you want and determine how it is that you would feel if you had it. and then allow yourself to really ground yourself to that. Your imagination is so strong that you can do this better than literally every other sign of the zodiac. So it's very, very easy for you to manifest by coming from the position of having already achieved what it is that you desire. So keep that in mind. Have a wonderful new moon in Capricorn, Pisces. Thank you very much for watching your new moon in Capricorn Tarotscopes. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Happy new moon and happy new year.